Now you do what they told you. Hey, Chris. Now you do what they told you. Now you
What's up,
do what
buddy?
they told you. What's up, man? How's it going? Sorry for that weird intro, dude. It sounded better in my head.
It
Uh,
really did. I was like, where are you going with this, buddy?
no, so that's an excerpt from the lyrics of "Killing in the Name of" by Rage Against the Machine, and I think it's a proper and actually a really good uh, song that goes with today's how do you say today's topic, which is, well, there's a lot of that. There's actually a lot of things here that we need to unpack in terms of investments. Was
Got
that
the
you?
cat in, got the cat in the background. No,
No. God
that
damn
definitely
it,
was
dude.
not me.
That actually kind of freaked me out. I was like, I'm like, excuse me, Satan,
that
not now,
that's all in your house, man. I don't know what type of
not.
demons you got back
I
there.
was like, not now, Satan. Well, I want to talk today about investing. I know that you're in the financial industry. You work with money.
Mhm.
I want to talk a little bit about what's been going down at Wall Street, particularly with the stonks and Wall Street Bets, the Reddit group.
The whole debacle that's been occurring, this drama series that is the ultimate reality TV show.
This actually is a good way to start 2021.
You think so?
Yeah, because at the beginning, we were thinking, when are we going to open up? We still haven't
Hmm.
opened up, right? And so, what do you expect of people who are just at home doing nothing with their lives? They're trying to make some money. They can't work. Things aren't open yet. So we have to find another way to make some money. In which way? In some of the ways that people started making money was by trading or day trading, getting into
Yeah.
stocks, going into what now is probably the biggest. Um, I would argue that it's the biggest fight against small investors and big investors who actually have had power over the stock market for ages.
Yeah. I mean, the way I look at it is 2021 was definitely going to bring a lot of change. 2020 has been, in my opinion, record breaking as far as have we had other pandemics in the past? Yeah. I mean, we've had other similar pandemics in what 1960. There was another in 1916, other ones in a different years where we were actually kind of like not as, what's the word? You weren't really as secluded as you are now. So with technology nowadays, everybody's going into E-Trade. They're going into, uh, what's the Alibaba and buying stuff overseas and becoming a distributor, at home distributor via
Hmm.
Amazon, right? Because you see all these stocks of these multi-million Fortune 500 companies just exponentially explode
Right.
beyond what they've been in 2020 and behind in the past. And they've just grown to a point where it's kind of like uncontrollable. These guys have so much power and influence.
Yeah, these tech
So,
companies in particular.
yeah,
Yeah.
the tech companies in particular, right? So, what does 2021 bring us? Brings us a bunch of Joe Schmoes, right? We're Joe Schmoes. We're blue collar, white collar, orange collar people. And we get bored and we're like, all right, we have $200. We might have $600 from the stimulus check. What are we going to do with it? Right?
Yeah.
So I think, if anything, we're putting some lighter fluid into already open lit flame, you know,
Yeah.
and we're seeing the effects of it.
Some would say that this is the perfect storm. And for those of you who have not been, I don't know if you guys have been, living under a rock, like Chris just mentioned. Everything has been online. I mean, this story with Wall Street Bets, um, it's it's been basically in every feed. It's on your social media. It's probably on the newspaper, even though I haven't even read the newspaper. It's everywhere. Um, but it's really interesting to see the market shift in a way that it has never done before. Like you said, everything, 2020, it just highlighted and it put a focus on all the tech companies. Everything has been about tech. What are you going to be doing at home? Either you're watching Netflix, you're on your computer, you're on YouTube, you're watching this podcast, you're listening to this podcast. Everything has been online for the past year.
Mm-hmm.
And so these big tycoons of these hedge fund um, companies, they have been playing this game of 2001 trading, short
Mm-hmm.
short selling stocks. But they haven't. I guess that this is a really important point in this whole ordeal, because now, with the way that the information is just traveling at the speed that this information is traveling, you can't stop it. You can't
No.
stop this anymore. People are now, from a click, they're able to communicate with somebody on the other side of the world, and so news spreads that much faster. And when that happens, like you said, you have a perfect storm. You're adding lighter fuel into a fire.
Yep. Yep. And some will actually argue that. I mean, for instance, what happened to Robinhood yesterday? Was it, yeah, yesterday or the day before? I don't know
Uh-huh.
if you've heard. So essentially, Robinhood, which is a application company that allows you to trade stock for free, commission free, essentially, but they take their fees in other ways. They did not allow to purchase any stock for AMC, for Nokia,
Mm-hmm.
for Naked, and GameStop. The ones that are tremendously, have had this exponential growth in the last, what, 2 weeks, week and a half,
Mm-hmm.
where people are betting against them. These hedge fund companies are betting against them to lose. That's how they're gonna be making their money.
Right.
So the trend that's been going up. Well, yesterday they essentially stopped that trade. They stopped all not even new people, all either new users or existing users that are trying to buy more stock to inflate the price. They completely eliminated that. And even today, if I read their comments or messages correctly, they allowed you to, but only to a certain quantity, or they were limiting it. So you never know. You really never know what they're capable of doing, and there can be conspiracy behind that or not.
Yeah. So ever since this whole thing blew up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, Greg, who wasn't unable to join us on today's podcast, he sent me a text saying, "Hey, are you getting on the AMC and Nokia and GameStop stocks?" I said, "I'm like, what are you talking about?" Like, I was oblivious to this. My day to day life doesn't revolve around day trading. I had no
Right.
idea. I had to educate myself in the past 2 days, basically. And so when he sent me that, I went and checked out the Wall Street Bets on Reddit, and that subreddit blew up. Originally, I think it was like 300K. Right now, you're looking at 6.6 million people over a span of less than a week.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys, it's been funny to see how it's like a new way of media. It's like a new way of news. This is
Unregulated news, raw
un,
content, whether it's factual or not, it's unfiltered.
and that's actually very important to say, because there's a lot of BS that you have to filter through here. There's a lot of trolling. I mean, you would expect that from a subreddit like this here. Um, but so, like, all of the news
Mm-hmm.
that I've heard has been coming from this thread. It's been this person, researched this article, and they read this article, or they work in Wall Street or whatever, right? So,
Right.
like you said, it's a little bit more raw. You do have to do your due diligence to sift through all this information. But at the end of the day, basically what they're saying is, like you mentioned, Robinhood and a bunch of these e-trading apps, they stopped, or they actually didn't stop the trading because they actually allowed it to sell.
Correct.
And
They
so
allowed you to
that
sell, just not buy.
and so it seems to everybody that this is some sort of insider trading. It's I understand that one of their biggest one of their biggest clients is, I think, is Citron. So it makes sense why they would do this. Obviously they don't want to bankrupt their only big client.
Mm-hmm.
um, but it's something that many people speculate that will go into trial. It will probably get people jail time for doing this. Um, See, I don't really know what the legality and what the whole legal system allows and doesn't allow you to do when it comes to these stocks. But one thing for sure is, when you have a public company like this who caters to everybody, and then just because one of your biggest clients is going to take a big hit from these short sales or these investments that they try to short sell, it the fact that you're kind of cushioning their blow, you know that's
You're trying to limit the
the,
bleeding at this point.
yeah, you're trying to limit the damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people say it's a Redditors class action lawsuit. uh
Here, I mean, if I'm going to interrupt a little bit, just because I don't
yeah.
know the legality of it. I'm not going to act like I know the legality of it all. But the way that I took it is, and this is based off of what I read, this is public information. This is a trend, right? Everybody's hopping on a trend. I don't understand how they're going to try to sue Reddit, which is a public forum, right? Or sue any instigators, right? Because I think there's a lot of influencers that are also attributing to this trend, such as, I think Elon Musk is one of them, for example. How can you sue someone like that when a couple of years ago, based off of my extensive knowledge of watching the movie The Big Short, right?
Hmm.
The whole economy collapsed over similar actions, not necessarily with one or two specific trades, right? But people were well aware of what was happening to the stock market and all these mortgages that were going to defunct and whatnot. And only 3 people got jail time for that. Now
Right.
that is on a global level, right?
Hmm.
Extremely large level. And even then, those 3 people that ended up going to jail, or those few select people that ended up getting some jail time, weren't even big players. So how can someone even speculate, say, oh, well, these guys got to go to jail now? Someone should get sued and go to jail for GameStop
Yeah.
price going
So
up.
no, I think that I think I said it the wrong way. So Redditors, or people who were invested in the app or in those stocks, who were then limited on their growth, they're the
Got it.
ones. So the clients, so
Yes.
average Joes like you and I, they're the ones who were stopped um, when they were trying to buy
Yeah.
more stock, and so
Now,
they're the people who instigated the lawsuit.
no, I get what you're trying to say. That I actually back 100%. I don't think that an e-trader company should be able to do that, especially when you're a public and then you're doing all these things for all the market. All of a sudden, you want to stop. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of fuckery going on,
I
and you
love that.
can and you can tell, and I'm pretty sure it's going to end in some sort of jail time for some
Mm-hmm.
people. We hope,
Hopefully.
and there's a lot of people became millionaires over this. I actually wanted to bring up this guy, dude. Let me see if I can. I don't know if they will take down his name here. Let me see if I can
Call
find
him
this
Joe
guy.
Schmo. Joe Schmo.
Well, Joe Schmo was pretty smart from the get go. So this guy,
It sounds like the beginning of a book. Joe Schmo was smart from the get-go. Children's book.
might as well,
E-trading for
no?
children.
E-trading for children. Not even, dude. Not even, dude. Where is it? So his at Reddit name was Deep Fucking Value. And so
Deep,
this
deep.
this guy kind of saw a trend back in, I want to say 2019, or it must have been 2017. Let me see. I gotta get the full story on this so before I butcher this shit up.
Yeah, yeah, no, I get it. I get it. But back to your point, there's a lot of people that have made some money off of this, and I think uh, the last time I've seen this many people, especially millennials our age, get into like
Mhm.
trading since The Wolf of Wall Street came out. That movie revolutionized all of us and said, "Hey, we all need to get into the stock market. We all need to make these big money moves." And I think I'm pretty damn sure if someone was to take a poll on who's doing all this,
Mhm.
what's the age range that's influencing the stock market right now,
Yeah,
more than likely it's millennials. It's not the generation after us or the generation before us.
it changed everything,
I think so.
right? It changed
Mm-hmm.
everything. I think that um, they've realized that this old dinosaur, this dino aged strategy of short selling stocks ain't gonna work anymore. It's
It's gonna
something.
backfire.
What do you think they're gonna do? They're gonna have to create new algorithms to.
Here's the thing. I think about that, and that was a question I was going to ask you a little further down the line after you tell me about the Joe Schmo story. Is
Mhm.
what do you think is going to happen? Because I'm predicting, I'm assuming that this is just a trend. This is just a fad. At some point, it could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could be in a month. The company's going to defunk, right? GameStop, as a company, in my opinion, is no longer a necessary company, or it's not a retail company that's going to flourish in the future, considering all gaming is going to be virtual. The downloading of gaming is already occurring. All older systems that required uh, discs or whatnot is almost
Mhm.
becoming obsolete, right? So the company is becoming ancient.
Yeah.
How do you expect that company to continue and profit, right? Which is at the end of the day is what the stock market's going to reflect. Just right
Mhm.
now, it's not. So I'm curious, and I want to ask you, what do you think is the end game? What do you think is going to happen at the end of all this?
Well, something that's interesting is that if you take a look at the new all of the new gaming systems that are coming out, they
Mm-hmm.
still use discs. So
They
because
have
of
the
that,
option to.
yeah, because of that, because that they still have the option, I think that it's going to take some time. I don't think that it's, that this type of retailer, mom and pop shop kind of retailer, is going to last very long, particularly in the gaming systems industry, because you have to realize that everything can be downloaded now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why would I mean, especially during this time, malls have been closed, everything has been closed. Why would you go to a retailer store where you can potentially get COVID now?
Right. Considering the current climate, I can see that. But I'm thinking beyond that. I'm thinking beyond COVID. Once we all get shot up a little bit, and if we don't become zombies like from I Am Legend,
Mhm.
which sidebar took place in 2021 and occurred after a vaccine that had failed. I'm not making shit up right now. Okay.
Wait, wait,
I
wait, 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 wait. Can you rephrase exactly what you said again?
okay. I Am Legend. Will Smith,
Yes.
right? Legendary Will Smith
Yes.
with his dog
Uh huh.
took place in New York. Well, the movie, from what I've looked up, took place in the year 2021. Okay. And if you recall and you go back and watch the movie, the people that had became zombies or infected were due to a failed vaccine. Now, I could be totally wrong and misreading all this information, right? But I took it for what it is because it made sense. I've seen the movie. I'm not saying I know exactly what's going to happen, but it's a possibility. Think about it.
Now I have to go back and watch the movie, dude, because I'm tripping out.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna fact check myself because I don't want to look like an idiot.
Why you do that? So here, let me see, dude. I think that most of the stories have been like taken down. It's really
They're
weird.
they're probably false to an extent, to be honest. There's so much out there going on right now.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna read you the article really quick
Go
so
for it.
that we can get the gist of what actually happened. Um, so I guess his last name is Gill. I don't know what his first name is. Basically, he says, um, so it says, so this story is so much bigger than me, Mr. Gill told the Wall Street Journal in his first interview. He says, I support these retail investors, their ability to make a statement. Okay, so many online investors say his advocacy helped turn them into a force powerful enough to cause big losses for established hedge funds and for a moment turn the investing world upside down. So he posted a screenshot of his brokerage account Wednesday showing a roughly 20 million daily gain on GameStop shares and options. Dude, now that's
Wow.
some serious money. Your steady hand convinced many of us not to only buy but hold. Your example has literally changed the lives of thousands of ordinary normal people. Marco, seriously, thank you. So he says, so he wasn't a rabble rouser out to take on the establishment. Basically, okay. So this is where it's begun. So GameStop, he was investing in GameStop around June 2019. It was hovering around the $5 a share. Earlier that year, the game retailer was hunting for its fifth chief executive in a little over 12 months. But Gil kept buying. Although he never played much besides Super Mario or Donkey Kong, he saw potential for the struggling retailer who reinvigorated itself by attracting new customers with the latest video game consoles. So, so people were doing a quick take saying GameStop was the next blockbuster. He said,
Hmm.
a chain caught in a retail decline. It appeared many folks just weren't digging in deeper. It was a gross misclassification of the opportunity. So he says that basically people, like you said, they saw it as a dinosaur, like Blockbuster. I mean, if you ask kids nowadays, kids who are under 18, they probably don't even know what a Blockbuster is.
Don't go there, man. That hurts me. That ages me right now.
Dude.
Oh, jeez.
So let's see.
Gotta bring up the feels, man. That one hurts. I miss the Blockbuster days, I'll tell you that. Every
I know,
Friday,
dude. It was an
they had
experience.
specials.
It was not
Oh,
just
yeah.
it wasn't just you were going to go get some movie to watch, but you were gonna take a look at all of the movies, right? All of the movies in one place. New movies, used movies, old movies, whatever. You can get popcorn there. You could get candy.
Oh,
I
man.
mean,
The
Friday
nostalgia.
nights. Friday nights was the best time to go. That was
Yeah.
the place to go.
Look. As time progressed from the early 90s to the late 2000s, it slowly lost its charm, right? The
Hmm.
specialty. Because I'll tell you this, when I was a wee little boy, 8 years old roughly, right? And I went to Blockbuster back when they had the VHS tapes. You held those cartons, right? And those
Yeah.
thick cartons, especially when you had small hands back then. I still have small hands now, but smaller hands back then, right? And you'd smell it. You'd smell your excitement, right? No one knows what excitement smelled like, but you knew at that point. You're like, okay, this is the movie I want to get. This is the popcorn I'm gonna get. I fucking hated popcorn, but guess what? I still got it because it was part of the experience. And as time progressed and I got into my teens, I was going into high school, and I have a sister who's 12 years younger than me, right? And I take care of her every weekend. Where there was still Blockbusters up until she was the age of 7 or 8. Every Friday, man, they gave me like a 25% coupon, right? So I can go in there and I watch the same fucking movies I always watched because I'm that guy, right?
What
I
movies?
get
What movies?
what new, dude, like the Goonies, Star Wars. When Family Guy came out with the Star Wars
Uh-huh.
version of it, dude, I rented the shit out of it. I actually probably still have it. And I probably owe Blockbuster some money
You probably no wonder they went bankrupt.
because of motherfuckers like me,
Yeah, dude.
right? So the fact that that's gone now and kids will not get to experience that because what they do is they pop up their fucking iPad, right? Pop up Amazon or Alexa, and they just look at the fucking movie list right there. They could just go and select whatever the fuck they want. It was never that easy, guys. It wasn't that easy. We had to sometimes call it in. Excuse me. I'm getting frustrated here. We had to call it in sometimes and ask, hey,
To make sure
Robert,
it was in stock.
yeah, Robert, do you have this movie in stock or games? Because they had games too. Do you have this movie or game in stock? Do you have Tony Hawk Pro Skate 2? No? Okay, when's this supposed to come in? Oh, fucking ancient computers, right? Come and check it out. Oh yeah, we're supposed to get one in tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool. Call it 11 o'clock because drop off was before 11. After 11, you get a fee. Yo, Rob, did you guys get the game in? Oh, okay, hold on one sec. You can hear him in the background. Just open up those cases. And then you're like, yeah, I got it. Put on hold. I'll be right there. Dude, you don't understand, kids. Life has not been the same ever since. I don't think I've played games as often since back then because it's just.
What are you gonna do? Download it?
Exactly. Guys, I got the new Call of Duty.
Hey, you want to download
Downloading.
it? You want to play online?
Right.
Greg's probably hating you right now.
Is he?
Dude, that's my shit right there, man. No, then even after that, like, how long was Blockbuster in business? Like, I don't know. Let me see, 30 years.
That's a good question, but I will say this: there is one Blockbuster left in Colorado or Washington. There's one Blockbuster who's a franchise who had a contract with Blockbuster as a franchisee. So when all corporate Blockbusters shut down, they still have their contract in place and they were renewing it, I think it was.
Yeah.
Until this day, they're known as the last Blockbuster.
Dude.
You can still get a Blockbuster membership card, and I still have mine.
That's crazy.
I can't let it go, dude. It's like my high school football shirt, to say that I played football for a year.
Yeah.
that tank doesn't fit me no more. It's like 2 sizes too small, but guess what? I don't let it go.
So they were in business for about it says so 1985, so that's 15. They ceased operations on the 2010.
Wow, it's sad.
Yeah. Well, they had a good 35-year run.
Yeah, but that's they should have still been here, to be honest with you.
Well, see, it wasn't even Netflix. It was Redbox. Remember that? Redbox.
Out of all fucking people, Redbox. Who would have thought? It's like bottled water. Who would have fucking thought?
For the longest time, dude, I thought it was Netflix was part of Redbox. Was that the case? How did they come into fruition?
Okay, so last I checked is Blockbuster, I'm going a little bit background from what I recall. Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix in their infancy as an online streaming platform.
Oh my God.
For like a dirt cheap amount of money. Blockbuster thought it was the dumbest idea and rejected them. So they ended up not buying them, right? Redbox, I think, was their own entity, and still to this day is its own entity. Netflix, however, they switched from being nothing but online streaming. That became as of more recent. Prior to that, they were mail ordered movies. Kind of like, I think, Shutterfly.
Right. Like Amazon. Yeah. Like Shutterfly.
Shutterfly, Amazon mixture, right? Yeah. So you had a monthly membership, and it could be, let's say it was like $9.99, $12.99, or $15.99.
Right.
And based off of which package you have, you can rent 2, 4, or 6 games or movies at a time, and they'd ship it to you in a little Netflix bag.
Yeah.
Like a red box, right? Not box, it was like an envelope.
Right.
And you can keep it for however long you want, right? And you can end up buying it if you wanted it to, but you can keep it for however long you want and then just put it back in its bag and ship it back.
Yeah.
And that's what they were doing the majority of the time. And then eventually it started phasing out. But interesting fact, till this day, there's a couple of people I don't know the number, but there's people that still have that membership that does the dual Netflix app, and for those that you didn't pay for because they weren't available on the streaming service, the actual DVDs or Blu-rays,
Yeah.
they can still get them till this day.
The physical discs.
Physical discs, physical DVDs and
snap,
Blu-rays.
dude.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you can sell that.
Yeah.
So Redbox is actually owned by Coinstar, or Coinstar parent Outer Wall.
Okay, so same ownership basically. Makes sense. They fucking look the same.
I know, right? It's the same functionality. You go to this little kiosk, you freaking change your quarters, change your movies you watch.
Change your fucking movies. I gave up on Redbox the minute I got fucking 2 DVDs back to back, all fucking jacked. Excuse my French. It still pisses me off to this day. However, that's the history of what we interpret or believe had occurred with those streaming services and Blockbuster in particular. So back to the point was, it's an ancient dying breed, and I believe that still holds true.
It just goes to show you that if you don't adapt with the times, you stay at the time.
You get left behind.
Yeah,
you get left behind.
Right. I mean, it happened to Sears. It's happening to Sears. It happened to Blockbuster. I mean, imagine, dude, that company. I mean, it would have just been Blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been Blockbuster on demand, basically.
That's what it would have been. And I'm gonna make something up right now. Okay. Do you recall Circuit City? How they kind of defunct it as well?
Mm-hmm.
So Circuit City is still technically a company right now. There's an entity that bought them out, and they're only doing online. They had thought about going back to retail, but then 2020 hit, right? Mm-hmm. Toys R Us, same thing. It's still an entity, online only. So I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not trying to manipulate anything, but it's not too late.
It's not too late for what?
To invest in those companies, man. Toys R Us, come on.
Millennials. You think they're gonna stay?
Hell no, but you can. Hey, if they can do it to AMC and they can do it to GameStop, bro, GameStop doesn't even compare to Toys R Us. If all you guys really want to invest in something that really made a difference in your childhood. Black Friday, right? The line was crazy getting to Toys R Us. Yeah. We all wanted the new Legos. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And right now, stock is probably really cheap. Just think about it.
I'm gonna go take a look.
Please don't, because I think they actually probably went bankrupt. But still, nonetheless, like think about these things, guys. Think outside the box. Think outside the box.
I don't see their name on the stock market. I don't know if they are or not.
TOY''S. Yeah, no, it doesn't pull up either. So yeah, I mean, I might not be true, but if we can do this, right? If we're able to manipulate the system to our favor for a company such as GameStop, that at the end of the day, it is an ancient breed and might be gone in the future.
Well, you know what the interesting thing about that, Chris? Sorry to cut you off, dude.
No, go for it.
It's not the fact that it's GameStop. This could have happened with any other company.
True.
The issue here is much bigger, which is the fact that we have these giant corporate hedge fund, type of companies at Wall Street that take advantage of small mom and pop shop retailers who, they're basically betting against.
They're betting for them to fail.
Yeah, they're betting, for them to fail, basically.
Yeah. No, and I was going off in my own kind of tangent because I want Toys R Us to be back for my child. So maybe I skewed the conversation that way because for my own personal reasons. But yeah, you're right, man. At the end of the day, it's a slap in the face because they've been manipulating the market for who knows how long, right? Nothing has occurred. There's nothing that we could have done to stop it. So now this is what the revolutionary act. It's no longer Pancho Villa, right? We're
Mhm,
no longer
mhm.
riding horses and coming back and revolting that way. Now we're revolting with resources and technology that we have
That we
bestowed
have
upon
available.
us.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We're I mean, these guys, dude, it's just so it's unbelievable that a community of Redditors, mostly gamers, have been able to unite against the man per se.
Right.
And I think that this is actually maybe one of the first marks of a cultural change, and this is definitely going to shape the future of investing. I think that these big companies are going to have to be more careful, and it actually kind of goes to show you that the concept of Bitcoin can actually work. It's something that has been on the horizon for such a long time. I mean, today, dude, Bitcoin, I think it went from 30
30, 30,
to
35 to
37.
37.
That's crazy.
It was at 35 yesterday and went to 37 today. Yeah, I see that, man. I see that. And I try to think of all the possibilities of what can occur, and Bitcoin still kind of scares me. It scares me because I don't know, right? I don't know about it. I don't know enough to be like, yes, this is going to be our new currency system.
Hmm.
Do I think our currency system as of now is flawed? Absolutely. Just like everything else is flawed, right? Um, but what's the end game? And I'm just thinking, because of what has occurred and what is occurring, there's going to be new rules and regulations put in place by the FDIC, by all these commissions, the SEC. There's going to be rules and regulations put in for this to not occur in the future. But now,
Hmm.
does it hinder us as regular consumers, right? Or does it hinder the corporate companies that are influencing it as well? I don't know, man. But I just wish there has to be some change, and I think this is a good wake up call.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. So, working at a bank, we won't mention what bank, um, how,
Worked.
oh, worked at a
Yeah.
bank.
Yeah.
How do you see this? Like, where do you see this going? Like you said, like what it, I mean, because when you work for like a corporate, a corporation such as a big bank that, like one of those brand banks that we know,
Hmm.
the environment there is very, very different. It's not like it's it's a profession, it's a career, it's like, do you become part of the establishment? Basically, is kind of what I'm asking. Like, let's say, like I would imagine, like all these Wall Street guys, maybe they don't. They all have families, right? They all want to
Hmm.
feed their kids, and they have same aspirations as everybody else. But do you like become part of that
Culture.
establishment, the culture? It shapes you,
Yeah,
right? It must have a
it,
big impact on you.
it absolutely does. So I was in the banking industry for better half of like 5 years, 4 or 5 years. So I'm knowledgeable enough to speak to the retail piece
Hmm.
of it, right? And then possibly a little bit in the uh, corporate standpoint as well. And I'll tell you, it doesn't matter what bank you go to, maybe with the exception of a couple of credit unions,
Hmm.
but all those FDIC insured banks, um, the culture is the same, dude. You get engulfed in this bravado and this image to uphold, right? And now that I've left it and I've been gone for some time, I look back and I'm like, man, the culture was. I don't want to use the word toxic because it might not necessarily be toxic, but reflecting upon it back then, it was toxic to me,
Hmm.
um, because you have to become this person that you're not, right?
Right.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid on what you should do. What's your financial goals? What do you want to attain and whatnot? When a lot of it you're not even doing yourself at that point, you know.
Right.
And
Right.
I can only speak for myself, and I'm not going to name these companies, right? But I caught myself one day waking up and dreading to go to go to work because I was thinking, what have I become? What am I trying to do? Am I providing a service that's actually helping someone, or am I just putting up this facade, right? Putting myself in debt
Right.
to look the part, and at the end of the day, I'm just hurting myself. So I asked myself those questions, and I realized that that's just not for me. There's a lot of good people working at all these companies, right?
Right. Right.
But for the most part, what they're trying to project and the way I took it was just not in line with my morals. So I left it. And to answer your question of where things go from here, I wish I could answer that, man. The only thing that I've seen as a trend, right, is that whenever someone finds a loophole, which someone always does, in whatever market you're talking about the mortgage industry, right? You're talking about finances when it comes to your vehicles, or when it comes to loans, or when it comes to credit lines, whatever it may be. If people find a loophole and expose it, like we have done now,
Mm-hmm.
someone, and it's usually going to be a plethora of these big name companies and their CEOs and all their legal group, and who they partner with and who they donate money to, that become influencers in the legal aspect of it, who make these laws, right?
Mm-hmm.
These people that back up senators and back up governors and back up all these people that make our day-to-day laws, they get their money from somewhere, right? And they're
Right.
going to somehow find a way to tighten that asshole just a little bit more, right? Just enough where there's still something that can go through, but at the same time, not everybody can, right? So it's not
Right.
necessarily illegal, but they tighten things up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the analogy I chose to use, and I hope you can all understand that. But that is what I believe will occur.
And it's funny that you say that, because it's something that will be, you know, it won't be something that everybody will get to have. Like, that piece of knowledge is just going to be part of the culture. Like, oh, if you're in the industry, you may be aware of it. Kind of like taxes. Like, for
Mhm.
the average person who doesn't understand taxes, it's I mean, at the end of the year, you're like, it's a mind fuck. You're like, what the fuck? Why do I owe so much money, right? But if you're
Right.
in the if you know the game, you know how to play it. You know the loopholes. You know what you can write off, and where, and corporations. You can do a bunch of things that will help you avoid taxes, in a sense. And in the same way, you have these companies who will, like you said, they're going to influence, probably politicians, people with powerful people with influence in the industry, who will ultimately go and change the rules just a little bit, so that they can um, get something out of it. And but not
Mhm.
everybody will know. Like you and I,
Right.
we might be late to the game unless we're in the game, and it's one of those things, dude. And that's very, very, like you said, I think that's a very toxic thing to do. It's like,
It it's going to be like an 80-20 rule, the way I look at it. A lot of people apply that, and I don't think this is a an outlier by any means. 80% of the population, for example,
mhm,
when they do the taxes, a lot of people just go in, do TurboTax, or go to a tax consultant that works at H&R Block, that got such and such training, and they just do what the guidelines tell them to do. Oh, Marco, you end up owing $100 on your state taxes, but you're getting back 300 on your federal. Do you really question it? I mean, not you personally, but
right, right.
does the majority of the population question it?
Most likely
No,
not, dude.
most likely not.
No.
Right? Do they tell you if you start a corporation, and you funnel funds through your corporation and you pay yourself through the corporation, that those can be actually tax free? No, they don't tell you that, right? They don't
Right.
tell you that you can take down your mileage that you drive on a daily and use that for your personal business, and have that as a write off. They don't tell you any of this shit. So it's true, man. The majority of people aren't going to know, and the people that are even in the game, like you and me, let's say we both know we're mutually into this, right? We both know enough that we're in the game, but not by any means any experts. When the laws come out and they tell us we can't do this moving forward, or we can only buy a certain amount for a certain amount of period of time, which may be in the possible future when it comes to stocks,
Right.
we're going to be like, oh, fuck. Okay. But does that apply to everybody?
Yeah.
Right? Who knows? Who knows? So it's inevitable, you know, and it goes with politics and it goes with any finances. Either you're in the know or you're not. It's not a conspiracy. People just manipulate things in order to benefit them, their finances, their wealth, and their partners. If we had the opportunity to do it, I'd do it too. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you.
That's just I guess it's just, do you think that goes back to like tribalism or something?
Hell yeah. It definitely
It's
does,
like,
right?
hey, like I want my tribe to succeed, and maybe that tribe over there will get something out of our knowledge, but I don't know if we want them to get that powerful.
Right. Look at you're a tribe, I'm a tribe, right? We are all gatherers. We're not hunters. So we're all picking berries and shit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that a certain berry will give us diarrhea and it'll kill us all. But guess what? There's another berry that looks just like it, that has all these nutrients that makes us feel good. That's not going to kill us. And it looks almost identical to it, except there's a little stem that differentiates the two. And they're everywhere. Why? Because the other tribe doesn't pick it because they think it's toxic. Well, guess what? I ain't going to tell that fucking tribe that shit's good, right? You think I'm going to be a good guy and be like, hey, you should get some of this. Right? No, dude, I ain't going to do that shit.
But did you really just click? Most people probably don't know where that's from.
So
they're too young. Man. They're too young.
They're too young, dude. They're too young, and it's nature, dude. It's human nature. It is what it is, bro. I ain't gonna say anything more about it because there's nothing more I can contribute to other than it's gonna most likely happen, and whether you want to change it or not, whether you like it or not,
it's gonna happen.
It is what it is. Yep.
Yeah, exactly, dude. But see, now they created a whole different tribe. It's a tribe of people who are, they're the type of people that belong to the edges of the world. They're not, they blend in, but these people on Reddit are most likely maybe they're not so extroverted. They're probably very introverted. But now they have a community. Now it's a complete tribe. One, they have a community. Two, now they have a purpose, is to defeat the bigger man who's been, butt raping them for ages. Right. I mean, since when? I mean, how long have we had the stock market for?
Since before we were alive, man.
Ages.
Before we were alive.
And there was a comment today that I made. Some guy was like, dude, these people didn't have it. These people didn't know it was coming. I said because now there's a bunch of like definitions and like how do you say, like slang that's being used in the on all these like subreddits with these, especially with this subreddit here. And one of the things that people are saying is like tendies, like chicken tenders. Like chicken tenders.
The new slang of today, basically?
Huh?
The new slang of today?
Yeah. Huh. And so there was a correlation I made. I said, yeah, these people, these dino nuggets don't know that the new age has new tendies. And it was something that it was, I don't know, dude, it was just cracking me up.
Oh yeah, I think excuse me, we're gonna see a lot of that as we age, man. Because it's sad to say, man. It's sad to say we're at this point where we're the old guys now. Have you kind of caught on to that?
Nope.
You're a fucking liar, dude. You're a fucking liar. No, I mean, okay. The only reason I say this is because, again, as I kind of iterated in the past, I have a sister who's 12 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Okay. You are the youngest of your family, right?
Yes.
That's why you feel young, because you're the fucking youngest, bro. I'm the oldest. I'm in the opposite spectrum of you.
Sucks, bro.
So
Aren't you younger than myself?
by a year, but still, dude, the facts remain the same. I got a sibling
Mm-hmm.
who's so much younger than me, right? But in a weird way, she's not because
Right.
she's 18 years old now. She's 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're pretty old, dude.
Yeah, fuck you, man. So my sister's 18 and she goes to college at a university here in Arizona, right? So I occasionally, from time to time, I'd like to hang out with her. I've gone to the university before. I think we've been to the university before, right? And it's just you hear these things and you're like, you look at these people and you're like, dude, you guys are fucking babies and you have a different language. You may not think it. I'm thinking it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it. I'm like, you guys are saying, I can't even try to explain the terms I'm saying because I have to look them up. I don't even know what the fuck they are. That's how bad, that's how far gone I am.
Yeah.
You know, I have a couple of coworkers that I work with and they're like 21. They're not that much younger than me. They're nine, 8, 10 years younger at most.
It's
And I'm
pretty young.
like, it's still pretty young. But I'm like, they're saying these terms and like they may text me and they say a word or two. And I'm like, I have to Google what the fuck it is. Bro, that wasn't me. That I was the cool guy.
But
I
you
was
know
the
where that
fucking
came
cool
from, right?
guy.
It came from those stupid flip phones where we had a text. You had to press the number like 10 times to get to the Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
T9.
Yeah,
T9.
T9. Yeah, that's where it came from. It was like we used like the equal sign and then like half a parentheses for happy face.
Right.
It became emojis.
We
And
started that trend.
yeah, we just never
Okay.
knew. We didn't catch on to it. It
No,
wasn't
no, no,
until
no. I call BS. Okay, now you're old. You're aging yourself, buddy. Because I knew that shit. Okay, I knew that shit since I was fucking young. Okay, I've known all the terminologies that we millennials used. Okay, though I was well aware of those, but I'm talking about this new generation, dude. They're
Mhm.
not using symbols. They're not using these emojis that I wish we fucking had back in the day. I would have so much more game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine texting a girl with like a smiley face, just an equal signs and half a parentheses, and that's how you're like smiling at her through text message. Versus now you got one of those like cool Sly guys that does one of these.
No,
You know
now
what I
all you have
mean?
no, now all you have is the question mark.
The
It's like,
question mark.
it evolved from you up question mark, and then it was like the eggplant emoji,
Right.
and then question
Yeah.
mark, and now it's just a question mark.
Now it's just question mark, dude.
3
The
a.m.,
game
dude.
has changed. The game
Well,
has look, it's passed me by. I'm fucking GameStop and Blockbuster right now, dude, because it's passed me by.
dude, check these. So while we're on this subject, dude, I wanted to just share with you guys some of the slang that's being used in this subreddit that just cracks me up, dude. We have YOLO, obviously, you only live once. I think we came up with that.
Yep.
You know, our generation definitely came up with that. Um, but the way that they're using it, it's if someone on WSB has YOLO'd a stock, that person has poured a significant portion of their investments into it, and they're we have a bag holder, someone who has taken heavy losses on the stock in WSB parlance, while others may have profited from a similar position in the past. That person has been left holding the bag.
That's actually kind
We
of dope. I like that one.
we have tendies, so shorthand for chicken tenders, which WSB uses as slang for profits on a trade. Tendies, dude, I
Yo, I'm
love it.
gonna get my chicken tenders, homie. I'm gonna eat my
Dude.
chicken. Okay, I can dig that too. I can dig it.
So
Now in context, I like it.
diamond hands, often referenced using an emoji. Diamond hands are how members express their belief that their position is valuable and worth holding onto for maximum profit. Conversely, a trader with paper hands sells out early. Diamond hands. So imagine diamond hands, right? Like you're holding.
Yeah.
And then the last one is to the moon. A
This-
rallying a rallying cry on WSB subreddit, which members used to express their belief that a stock will rise significantly. The phrase is often accompanied by a rocket emoji.
Yep, that's what I've been seeing a shit ton of, man. I was gonna bring that up. AMC to the moon.
That's literally that's what's filling up Reddit right now. To the
Yeah,
moon.
to
They're
the
like,
moon.
fellas, let's hold to the
These,
moon with these stocks.
these guys are 18 to fucking 23 years old saying, "Oh yeah, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. AMC, GameStop, to the moon." I'm like, oh, dude, that's
Dude,
why I haven't jumped on this train.
bro, they're calling themselves autistic and there's other words that spring up. So like if you don't know what you're doing, um they they call it retarded, like you're retarded if you don't know what you're doing.
Interesting.
You just come
Well, I
in there,
mean,
you're like, yeah,
yeah,
and
that's why
then
I don't fucking say anything. I'm actually legitimately scared to contribute to any type of Reddit or subreddit forum, and because I'm gonna fucking called out on this little fucking 23-year-old skinny dweeb that can beat the fuck out of is gonna be talking some mad shit on me because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm intimidated. Okay, the tables have turned.
the tables have turned, dude. It's the new word, man.
It
It's the
is.
new lingo. That's the new world that we're living in.
It is, man.
So, man. So the other one was stonks.
Yeah, let's talk about stonks. I think you had to give me the definition of that one. You mind reading that one back?
So a stonk is basically um, it's an intentional misspelling of stocks that originated from, I think it was an internet meme. And Elon Musk, if you follow Elon Musk on Twitter, he'll post like this meme. And in fact, if you saw my post on Instagram today, that's basically the meme. The stonk guy
Mm-hmm.
is the meme of that word. Pretty funny, dude.
I'm just
Oh,
baffled. I'm baffled, to be honest. I'm trying to come up with a proper word to describe how I'm feeling, and it's baffled.
So
So,
Captain Teamwork that joined us on the live chat said, "To the Moon" came from an old black and white show way back in the day called The Honeymooners. Do you want to take a look at what
interesting fact, Captain. The Honeymooners. What era was that?
I'll show you right here? I'm going to share my screen.
Go for it.
Let's see. So The Honeymooners. Let's see. This aired back in 1955, dude. Before
Wow.
you before you were a gleam in your daddy's eye.
Yeah, I wasn't even. Yeah, man. 1955. So we're referencing this, and that's what's coming with the to the moon.
To the moon. Check this out, man. Oh man, this is hilarious. Who would have thought? You know, six,
I am thankful for that comment. I would have never guessed.
but yeah, dude. Last time that we had you on, you were just about to become a daddy.
Yeah, that's You want, dude? Why are you hitting the feels today?
Dude, I
You
have
were
to.
hitting the feels first. Blockbuster, which put me off on a tangent to Toys R Us, and now we're talking about me being a daddy. Damn, damn. So I am a daddy, in more than one way. And I was
You're so
blessed to
modest.
become. I am modest, of course, of course. I'm blessed to have a now 12, 13-month-old son, Easton Michael, and it's changed my life, dude. It's changed my life. You've had the opportunity to meet him a few times now. When he was a few months old, up until what, 2 months ago.
Yep.
So, as you can see, fatherhood has changed me. I have not grown the facial hair that I promised I would have in episode 24, if you recall that. But thanks to COVID, I've gained the COVID-19 and looked a little bit different.
Is that what they're calling
The,
it nowadays?
the
Dude,
COVID-19, yeah,
that's
yeah,
exactly what I'm gonna call it nowadays.
yeah, the COVID-19. So I'm also fluffed up for winter too. But thanks, man. Yeah, it's been a really interesting road trip these last couple of months, and I'm excited for more, man.
Dude, when it comes to the future of you and your family, like what's on the horizon, dude? Like in terms of the financial readiness that it takes in order to be able to come out on the other end of life. Some people, dude. I'm 30, right? And
Hmm.
I haven't even. I mean, I guess we're starting to plan our first kid, um, but it's still a little bit away. I just thinking about that type of responsibility. It's like, dude, why didn't I get into these damn stonks earlier? It's like I've been kicking my ass on all the mistakes I made during my 20s, and I guess that's what it is. Your 20s you make mistakes, you learn. In your 30s you basically um, start putting your shit back together from all the mistakes you made in your 20s.
Right. That's a good way of putting it. And I think that's true. You're meant to fail in your 20s. And I think you're still meant to fail and make mistakes in your 30s and 40s. But the majority of the learning lessons, I think, come in the early 20s range. And to answer your question about finances and family life, and I'll tell you this, man, I've become very humbled as a father. Like, I've always had this big dick energy, and I've always had this big dick energy, and I'm not gonna lie, it's still there, right? But it's just not as bulgy as it once was. I'm
Starting
much
to sag a little
more,
bit.
yeah, dude. Like, it starts to hurt when you sit down. You know what I mean? So what was really nice, what you were packing in your youth isn't really the same as it is when you get older. But when I had Easton, I think I stopped taking a lot of those major risks, right? I stopped. It's not even a risk thing. It's more so you stop doing dumb shit, right?
So priorities.
The priorities have exponentially changed, and it's now become, okay, instead of looking out for me, myself, and I, it's we, right? A
Mhm.
family unit. And what am I going to do to put us in a better position? And it's do I go out and drink, or do I go out and buy this TV, or do I go out and do this and this, or instead do I put that money elsewhere? Do I put that money in a savings account? I don't think before I turned 25 I ever had a savings account. Whatever I got, that shit was gone, dude. That money never invested. That money was just going out, buying shit. I always had really nice cars. You can attest to that, dude. We've always talked about cars. I've always had nice sports cars,
Mhm.
and I drive a Nissan Maxima,
Hey,
2014.
it's got a killer's
Speaker system. It
yeah,
does. I told you,
speakers.
I still got that BDE. You know what I mean? But it's just changed a little bit, and now it's. I'll tell you that my priorities is I don't want my son to suffer. Not that I've ever suffered. I will always give my dad gratitude for making a lot of sacrifices, as did his father. However, at the same time, it's more so I want him to be in a better position than I was at his age, right?
Mhm.
If that means eating beans and rice now, and purchasing a rental property and fixing up that rental property with my blood, sweat, and tears, so that in 5 years we can break even or actually make some income out of it. When he turns 21, 25, that's something that I can leave to him, right? It's a
Right,
legacy. It's
right.
an empire that I'm trying to build. I might not build it. You know what I mean? I might not be Caesar. I'm hoping he's Caesar, right? But I think I put myself in a position where I'm
You're
here
paving
to
the
make
way.
him better. Right.
You're paving the way.
I'm making those cobblestone roads. All he's got to do is put cement on it afterwards, and it's no longer what I want to achieve for me personally. It's more what I want for him. And it's a different type of drive.
Yeah,
So,
dude. Everybody says, man, once you have kids, it kind of just it changes your entire life. And I don't know if that's part of the reason why I held on so long. You know, I mean, I don't consider myself too old. I'm 30 years old, still trying to figure out my shit. Now I think I'm in a path that um, I'm pretty proud of. You know, it's been going well. Um, I can't wait to start showing you some of the stuff that I've been working on. But when it comes to like the finance, it it preparing for a kid. Like people say, you know, you can never be prepared for a kid. Like I hear that all the time. However, you can be prepared to be unprepared. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of like my philosophy when it comes to having a kid or getting ready for a kid. It's like, yeah, I know it's going to be different and I know it's not going to be what I expect, but at least we're going to be okay. We're going to have some money put away in case something goes wrong. You just never know. I mean, imagine I worked a regular job where I would it would be like a 9 to 5 job,
Hmm.
and and during this whole time, you know, with my kid, with the new baby, I would have lost my work. Like, you know, I hear stories or like over stories where people spend hours and hours with the unemployment and they never answer, and it takes them like 4 months to get their unemployment check to come in. Like, I couldn't imagine myself in that position. You see, so the fact that, well, that's actually part of the reason why it's taking me so long too. You know, because it's like I'm seeing all this stuff transpire, and it's like, well, you really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But now understanding that I'm in the industry that is never really going to go away, which is real estate. It kind of, in the same way that you put it, I'm kind of paving the road so that when I do bring kids into um, this world, is they'll at least have a sidewalk. Like they'll at least know where they have to go. Like you follow this road, you can make it whatever you want. You know, and people forget that, dude. I mean, being an immigrant, you know, not being here from the US as most people, I come with a different perspective. It's like this is the land of opportunity, and if this freaking, what was his name, deep fucking value, you know, can make 20 freaking $2 million overnight, it's like, okay, anything is possible here. You know, everyone says the system is rigged. It's rigged, and but it's a system. It's like a
Right.
game. You need to learn how to play it. So as long as that I understand that, and I kind of pave that road for my future generations to come, I think we're going to be okay. And so, you know, but this whole financial stuff, it's like almost like a taboo subject. A lot of people don't like to talk about it. It's I mean, we live in a world that's so instant gratification type lifestyle. Like you said, you want Netflix or you want a movie, boom, Netflix.
Hmm.
Seconds. You can watch it on your phone, you can watch it on your tablet, you can watch it online, like wherever. You can even download it and watch it without Wi-Fi. You see? So when we have these types of I mean, I don't know, dude. I feel like we're very spoiled when we have these types of distractions. It's really hard to focus and you know, kind of come back to the real world, which is, one, if you want to have a place to live, if you want to live under a roof and you want to have food on the table, you need to make some type of money. You know, like, yeah, you can go and get welfare, and you can go live in a house, in a Section 8 house or whatever. But you, even in that place, you still have to pay for your phone. You have to drive a car. Nowadays, if you live in anywhere like Orange County, California, you can't drive anywhere. You can't take the bus. You know, you literally have to drive or take the toll road because,
Hmm.
you know, traffic is too crazy. A bus ride would take you, what would take you a 15-minute car ride, it would take you like an hour,
or
you know,
more,
or
or
more.
more. Yeah.
And it's only going to get worse. It's only going
That
to
is
get worse.
very true, man. That is very true. And not to shit on your parade, because I'm not going to tell you no one's ever ready, right?
Hmm.
With the whole kid thing and finances, but I'll tell you, you just have to find yourself in a place where you're comfortable, and just know that growth. And you already know this. I'm just reiterating for everybody else out there. Growth is never ending. So whatever goals you want to attain, whether they change or not, uh, you just got to stick with the punches, man. Roll with the punches, not stick with them. Roll with the punches, and see. You got to make the best of it, man. When life gives you lemons, you fucking squeeze that shit. You make some lemonade, or you parfait it. You fucking bake a cake with it. Who knows? But change it up, right? So, yeah, man, it's forever evolving. I think real estate is one of those things that will never go away. It's going to change as well, but it's never going to go away. Whether the market moves more towards rental properties than home ownership,
Hmm.
whether they become more like hostels versus single family homes, who knows? But that's one way that I think a lot of people our age, a lot of people in different walks of life will be able to, I guess, really make some money, man, or at least establish yourself where if you find yourself in a position where you do lose your job, right? Because I work a 9 to 5, but I also do stuff on the side, right?
Hmm.
Um, you've got something to lean back on. And that's the reason why I moved out to Arizona, because I purchased property out in Arizona, and it's more so I saw the growth potential in Arizona. You have an influx of people from California leaving because the price of homes and the price of cost of living, not even home ownership, but the cost of living has gotten up so substantial, and it's going to continue to trend to go up, where they're flocking to states that are technically cheaper, but in doing so, they're raising the prices.
Hmm.
And not to go off on that, but for example, I bought in the West Valley, and the West Valley of Arizona is kind of, it's still being built,
Hmm.
right? Newer cities with newer homes, and there's still a lot of vacant land. Think of it like Chino,
Right.
maybe 10, 15 years ago, right? A lot of farmland, but they're building up. And I saw that these homes, they're really nice. A lot of these home builders that are going out to these areas aren't cheap home builders. And I'm seeing an influx of people from out of state moving in. I was one of them, right? And within the short period of time that I've been here, which is only, I think I purchased 2 years ago, going on 3, I've seen a third of my investment go up, right? A third of the value just, and it's not even done. It's not
Yeah.
even done.
It's,
I think on average, there's 225 people moving in every single day to the West Valley, not to Arizona, to the West Valley.
how many people?
225 a day.
My God, dude, that's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine just even a 10% of those people buying homes in the area, if that
Right.
5%, dude. And then didn't you say that you guys were having some new big companies moving in the area as well?
Yeah, I mean, as much as there's a residential, um, there's a lot of commercial that's also building out here. I think from what I've heard, Red Bull is out here, White Claw is out here. A lot of uh, hotel companies are building resorts out here that have already started, because the West Valley is known for sports. So when you go to Arizona, typically you think of two things: old people and baseball, right? Um, I don't want to be that guy, but the old people are just starting to kind of phase out. You know, it's just life. And there's other cheaper states to retire at.
Hmm.
Arizona used to be really, really cheap state to retire. It's no longer as appetizing as Florida or Texas, where there's no state taxes. However, back to the whole baseball thing, and these things that you think about with Arizona, spring training camps here. So the majority of the West Coast, and Central come out to Arizona to play spring training baseball for 3 months. And that is a huge revenue for the state of Arizona. And the majority of those newer facilities, keyword newer, are in the West Valley. Dodgers, White Sox, Texans, Kansas City, Padres. I mean, the list goes on. Cincinnati, it just goes on and on and on. So these companies are saying that there's a trend of people not only coming here on a yearly basis for 3 months out of the year, but there's a whole influx of people from out of state moving in. So they're just building around it.
Dude, I mean, if they don't take it to the next level and actually monetize, find a way to monetize all that, the money coming in and out of the state, it's like, what else are they going to do? Hospitality business is gone as we know it. I don't
As
know
we
if
know it right now.
I don't know if it'll ever be the same.
I don't know either, man. I think about that and I ponder. There's quite a few nights where I think about whether my son is going to think this is the new normality, right?
Mhm.
We went to Colorado, and I'm thinking Easton is used to seeing everybody with masks. Like, that is what he grew up with. He was born on December 28th, 2019. Although he is a perfectly healthy boy and everything works, he didn't really start seeing well until his 3-month mark, I believe.
Mhm.
And that's when COVID hit. And everything that he's known other than family's faces,
Right.
when he goes out, everybody's wearing masks, right?
Dude,
And
yeah.
everybody's making faces to him, and he doesn't even know what the fuck they're doing. It's like, that's what he sees. And we're literally in a bus, a transportation bus going to the airport, and this captain and his, I'm fucking positive it's a mistress, dude. Like, he's a captain, fucking flies planes and shit, el capitan, and she's a stewardess, but dude, she was on him, bro. Like, I'm looking back and I'm like, yeah, like, are they coworkers? Or are they just like, is that husband and wife? But like, they both work in the industry.
Yeah.
Dude, her hand was around him, his hand was around her. I was fucking laughing, and shit was like 5 a.m. I'm like, oh, dude, these guys took a quickie at the Hyatt. Now they're gonna go back to work and fly their separate ways. I'm like,
Oh man.
anyway, so these guys were behind us, right? So they're behind us, and the chick must have been 27 years old. The captain, at least in his 40s, pulling in shit. Oh my god. Anyways, they're looking at my son and they're like, "Oh my god, he's one of the cutest boys I've ever seen." And I'm like, thanks. And they're like trying to talk to him and make like all these cute little faces to him, but they're all wearing masks. And they're like, there's like 10 other people around them. And this old lady's like, hey, he probably thinks we're weird because we're all trying to make faces and we're all wearing masks. And I turn around and I'm like, ma'am, this is his normality. This is his norm. Okay. He literally does not know anything but this. So he probably would think it's weird if you took off your mask and actually made faces, because he doesn't know what that is.
Yeah, he's kind of taken back. He's like, what? Like, what's going on here? This
Right.
one's different. Yeah, dude.
And think about it, man. These are the new generation of kids.
I know. I actually never thought about that. I never thought, like, oh, what are the kids thinking, like, when they're growing up? Yeah, that's really interesting that you bring that up, dude. That's a very interesting point. Yeah. Captain here said he spent $20K getting his teeth fixed, and now he has to wear a mask everywhere he goes. I know, that's why I haven't gotten my fixed.
Capitan, man, I feel bad for you. I hope for your sake and for the sake of my son that changes in 2021 or the years to come. So I hope at a very least, Captain, that you take a good selfie and post that shit on social media.
I know, dude. What's up with those people that wear a mask on social media? It's like, dude, is that necessary? Have you seen that?
I've seen a couple, yeah. I've seen a couple.
Like, is that necessary? Come on.
It's not, man. It's not. Some people do shit for the clout, to be honest. Some people, they're genuine, and they just think, I don't know. Don't ask me these questions. I don't know how to fucking answer them.
To change the topic, Captain here says, imagine talking to some honey and she takes her mask off and she got a screwed up grill.
Okay, Captain, I've talked to the boys regarding this plenty of times. That is probably the biggest downfall of 2020. And it goes with both sexes, right?
Can't do
Guys
anymore.
and girls. I'll tell you right now, dude, I got a small head, okay? Which means I have a small jaw, which means half the time when you're looking at the video, I'm going like this because I want to define my jawline, right? But when I wear a mask, you can't see any of that.
Uh-huh.
So right now, I'm going to be conservative. Maybe a 7, right? 7.5.
7?
Yeah,
You just
I'm
rated
be honest with
yourself?
you. I'm rating myself 7, 7.5. I don't have dark brown eyes. My eyes are light.
Hey,
They're,
hey, watch
they're
it,
close to
dude.
hazel.
Hey, watch it, man. Hey, watch it. That's
You
why I
don't
wear
want to do this right now. You don't want to do this right now. But I got, for my age, I got a great hairline. You know what I mean? So I got that going for me. The dad bod is in, but I don't need to justify why I'm a 7.5. Let's not go into that. Okay. So I'm a 7.5, but I wear a mask. Dude, I think I could easily pull a 9. You know what I
I'm
mean?
not I'm not laughing because I don't believe it. I'm laughing because it's just funny, dude.
It's
It's
fucking true though.
it's true. I'm laughing because it's true.
Yeah, it's true. And then it
There-
goes same with chicks, man. It goes same with chicks. You can see the thing about women though is when you see a man, you really judge a man by certain characteristics such as this,
Mhm.
right? This right here when it comes to face. Yeah, you can probably think about a couple eyebrow stuff here and there, whatever, right? But that's typically how you judge a man. When you judge a woman, unfortunately, the good stuff that's covered up can be a little bit skewed based off of these because they do makeup, right? Women do eyeliner, they do all this shit to their eyes and eyebrows where you might look at a honey, she passes by and you're like, damn, did you see those eyes? Know what I mean? Did you see those eyes? And then when they go sit down to eat, you know,
you kind of choke on your food, huh?
yeah, like I'm okay. You look like a 9 now, but it's the opposite effect. When you take that shit off, you're really a 7. And why am I disappointed when I'm a 7? You know what I mean? But I'm looking at her because I feel like I'm a 9. So it's like, if anything, this is the perfect opportunity for men. You know what I mean? In a weird way, we can be the makeups can be sorry, the makeup, the masks can be our makeup. Just
In a
as
way.
is, just as is a makeup face is to a woman.
Yeah, I mean a lot of girls say that the makeup for men is the facial hair. Hence the
Fuck you, yeah, dude. I agree. I agree.
dude,
All you fucking guys that have facial hair right now, mustaches, and your beards and shit. Just know that trends and fads they come and go in waves. So in the next couple of years, baby face motherfuckers with clean shaved faces are gonna be in. The hair is already coming back. Okay, the comb overs have started years ago.
Mhm.
Facial hair is gonna be gone, and when facial hair is gone, all you guys are fucked. I'm gonna go from a 7 to a 9 without even fucking trying.
I'm gonna keep it, dude. I don't care. This is the mustache is not. It's not for anybody else. It's just for me. I like it. I think it gives me character.
Yeah, it does. I haven't seen you without the mustache, so
Few
I
years, huh?
can't.
It's been a few years.
I've I've known you since at least 2012, 2013. Does that sound about right?
Um,
Maybe a little bit
may-
later.
no, dude.
I
Probably
don't
earlier,
know. Maybe. I don't know.
dude.
Excuse me, but I don't think I've once seen you without facial hair. And if it was for such a short period of time, I probably didn't
Mhm.
know you. You know what I mean? I didn't recognize you. So
Yeah, things are changing, and that's the thing, dude. Life The only thing that's sure is change, and
Yeah,
we got to adapt, right, dude?
that's right,
So
man.
Captain says he went through all the dating back in the day. Times are different now. There was no dating apps. You had to go out to meet girls, so you had to have game and money. I mean, I think that's also um I wouldn't say that's not the case anymore. I think it's still the case. What do you think, Chris? I mean, we've been out of the game for a while, so I
It's
don't
a
really.
mixture of things, I believe. Based off of what my single friends tell me, it's like the initiation is there, right? The meeting women, I believe, is much easier now than it was when my boy Captain started spitting game, because I think Captain said he's 44, right? So that puts him in what, late 80s, your prime, buddy, early 90s.
Early 90s,
And
man.
back, yeah, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And back then you're right, we had no social media, so you couldn't meet a woman online. And if you did, which actually was impossible, but if you did it, even in our time, it was kind of looked frowned upon, like, oh, you met someone online.
Morse code.
uh, right, it was kind of weird, right? But I think once you pass that initial, hey, we linked up here and here, it goes back to the whole spitting game thing. You need to have game. That's never going to change. It's just going to be at a different point and different stage of the relationship. I will say this though, I did spit game on internet. it
On
wasn't it
MySpace?
wasn't this. Oh, fuck yeah, on MySpace, dude. I remember going to Irvine Spectrum, and I'd be like,
Of course you did. Of
fuck yeah, I
course you
did.
did.
Come on, dude. Come on. And Foothill Ranch. But anyways, uh my pickup line would be like, hey girl, what's your MySpace? That was my go-to, bro. What's your MySpace? And it
What?
worked, man. I had like 600 friends. You know what I mean? And depending on which one I was talking to at the time, she made my top 5. And if you fucking failed to arouse me, entertain me, keep me in a loop, fucking demoted.
Demoted.
Next. Next. And guess what? We don't have that transparency now with
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, Tinder. The way I look at it is everybody is talking to multiple people in all these platforms. Okay. Whether you like to admit it or not, it's fucking true. Now, if it was like MySpace and my boy Tom did shit, you know what I mean? Like, you know where you stand. And I think that's the ultimate truth. You know what I mean? Because guess what? I know, Marco, if I'm on your top 5 friends, I know where we stand. Am I going to waste my time if I'm not in your top 5? Fuck no. You're going to be an acquaintance, right? And I'm letting you know right now, Marco, you're my top 5, homie. You're my top 5. We don't have it, but you're there.
Oh, you better put it on, dude. I better see that shit tomorrow. I'm
Yeah,
gonna call
well,
you. I'm gonna call you out on that.
I'm gonna screenshot the top 5 and like Photoshop my top 5 friends and put that on my Instagram as my latest
You're gonna have to now.
post.
You're gonna have to now.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, nowadays with this whole the way that social media works, it's always, the grass could always be greener on the other side, but that's not
Mm-hmm.
really the case. That's just
I,
it's what you see.
I think you're right. It makes a good point. I actually want to know what dating looks like post COVID.
That's going to be really interesting,
Yeah.
right? It's going to be really, really interesting. So yeah, man. Oh man, it's been good catching up, man.
It's been great.
Um, what other things can we get into? I mean, we talked about stonks. We talked about the game. So for those people, don't be play hating. It
there's
is.
an there's an old term. There's an old saying. They say it in Texas. I don't know if they say it in Tennessee or not, but they say it in Texas. Don't
Mhm.
hate the player, hate the game.
Don't hate the player, hate the game. And
Hate the
then
game.
on behalf of GameStop making those Billies, Power to the players.
Power to the players, man. Ready Player One. Yes, sir. Yes,
Right?
sir. But
Yeah, dude. Um, says what this captain say here. He was one of the so-called Chads in his 20s and 30s. Had money, nice car, nice house. All the boxes the girls want to check. Oh, he checked all the boxes and
mhm.
started in 97 and stopped playing the game around 2010 or so. Damn, that's a pretty
Damn.
good run.
Captain with the hanging Chad. It's a reference. And you played the game till 2010? Shit, dude. Props to you, man. We need to have you on the podcast.
Right?
I want to kind of dig into that brain a little bit. If I think I got the big BDE, you know what I mean? Captain's got the anchor, you know what I mean? So yeah.
The anchor.
Captain's got to change his name to the anchor. Yeah, we get it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man, it's been really great to catch up with you, man. I hope that we can do this again. I think today is just really long day. It has been a really long day for me, and I, I'm just waiting for these stonks to go up, dude. We hold them, we're gonna squeeze like you said, when life gives you lemons, you're gonna have to squeeze them to make lemonade, right?
Parfait them motherfuckers to the moon.
To the moon.
To the moon.
Yeah,
Oh man.
I let you guys go. Again, this is Thought Process Podcast. My name is Marco. This is my special guest, the degenerate himself, Chris Ayala, one of my boys. Thank you, Captain, for subscribing. We go live once, maybe twice a week. We talk about all aspects of life. This week, just happened to be a little bit of the stocks, a little bit of uh, just catching up with Chris. My co-host Greg should be on the next podcast. We look forward to seeing you guys on this show. Thank you guys for joining me, Chris. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. It's always very special when you come on. It's always a good time. Um, and let's just hold and let's go to the moon. You
To
know.
the moon.
So, Chris, for the people who want to give you a follow, where can they find you?
So I'm on Instagram, Chris Ayala 71. Look out for my podcast coming out soon, The Degenerate. Until then, I'll just be cruising. So thanks again for having me again. And Marco, it's always a pleasure. Thought Process TPP, one of the best podcasts out there. So give a like, subscribe, and don't forget to look me up on Instagram.
Yeah, everybody, you can find us on TPP is loading everywhere on every platform. You can listen to this podcast on virtually every platform, including Spotify, Google Podcast, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, everywhere. YouTube. Even now, we're doing Periscopes, we're doing Facebook Lives, we're doing YouTube Live. This year is our year. We're taking it to the next level. And thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you guys later in the week. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye, guys.